Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. There's a lot of really important things playing out inside of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is continuing to show dominance amongst the rest of the market. I wanted to go through, talk about Bitcoin a little bit, talk about Ethereum, and I also wanted to share with you guys how I actually create a trading plan and how I stick to that trading plan over a long time frame. This is one of the most important videos I'm going to make because it's going to give you guys a little bit of an understanding of how I actually go about taking trades, how I invest and average into positions, and it's also going to tie together everything that's happening inside of Bitcoin and the rest of the market as well. I'm going to make sure that you guys are completely updated with everything and what to expect moving forward so that you guys can protect your investments from volatility inside of this market. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. Like I've stated in times past, I have an amazing Discord server with over 5,000 members. This thing is growing so fast, and it's really amazing to see all you guys congregating in here. I absolutely love reading your messages and getting back to you guys with whatever trading questions that you have. So make sure that you guys join the Discord server. It's a great way to communicate with the rest of my community here inside of the DIY investing server. All you got to do is click in the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link. Once you guys have access, I do offer some of my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. The video course is an excellent resource to actually learn how to be a profitable analyst inside of this market. I've put together all of my resources for how I've invested in this market, all of my strategies, as well as just piling together all of the knowledge that I've learned from paying money in mentorship as well as courses. So this is going to be a really good resource to actually educate you guys on how to be profitable inside this market. Now the signals are actually a really important way for you guys to copy my portfolio. All of the long-term trades that I'm taking, you'll know what percentages I've allocated to each investment. And I'm also going to be creating a scaling out plan for taking profits. I also post all of my short-term swing trades as well as margin trades in there, so you guys get an all-around value for your buck. So make sure that you guys check that out. All you got to do is just shoot me a message and I can get back with you with all the information needed on how to actually sign up for that. Now with all that being said, help me get to a goal of 1,000 likes for this video. I'm going to be dropping a lot of really cool information that's going to help a lot of you guys out. So make sure that you guys show some support by leaving a like. Make sure that you guys smash up that subscribe button as well. It would really mean a lot to me. My community is the best one out there in crypto, and I firmly believe that. Everybody that's here following me right now is setting themselves up to make a financial fortune, and I'm personally thankful to have you guys a part of this team. It really does mean a lot that I get to do this every single day for you guys. I get to come up here and I get to just be myself and shed my knowledge on the most positive community out there in crypto. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with all that being said, let's jump right in the video today. Alright guys, taking a look once again at the Bitcoin block reward halving countdown. This halving is 5 days away, a little over 5 days away, and we are going to have the third halving. Every time we've had one of these halvings, it has been a major catalyst in Bitcoin. So every single day we are going to count down until the halving is here, and then at that point we are going to be throwing a halving party. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be giving away $100 in Bitcoin, and I'm also going to be giving away my course for free for one lucky winner out there. So make sure that you guys share this video, get this out there to as many people. Comment below when you got into crypto and let me know a little bit about your personal story so that you guys can enter for the chance to win this amazing course. I'd love to hear you guys' perspective. Like I said, giving away $100 in Bitcoin and giving away my course. So make sure that you guys share this video so as many people can see that. Like I said, also comment below your story because I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, how you got involved with this, how it's changed your life, and all of those sort of things. It really does mean a lot. Now today we're going to be diving into some Bitcoin analysis. We're also going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance. We're going to be taking a look at Ethereum because I think that all of these are highly correlated between each other right now. Now what I want to talk about in today's video is we're going to be going over some basic technical analysis inside of Bitcoin. I'm going to be talking about some things that I think can happen and play out inside of Bitcoin. And then we're also going to be talking about my trading plan, how I invested into this Bitcoin dip, each one of my buy orders that got filled, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I personally ladder into positions, because for me, this has been my most important strategy for investing in the long term. This is how I get really good entries without going all in at once. Obviously, if you were somebody that went and put 100% of your portfolio up at the top, you didn't have a good opportunity of getting in any of these cheap prices. And so the best thing to do is ladder in. You take small entries the whole way down, and then that's how you kind of average into a really low entry. So we'll talk about that as well. So first, let's go in here and talk about some Bitcoin analysis on the shorter time frames. Let's actually drop it to a monthly to start, so that we can see everything that's going on, because this monthly time frame is looking beautiful right now. I have not been this excited for Bitcoin since we were probably down in here, because really, guys, what we're seeing here is very, very bullish market structure, and I really don't see how you can see it any other way. I mean, really, we had this big sell-off, we had this massive wick, and that wick itself is a very clear indication of capitulation a lot of the time. And in fact, that wick itself is 67%. That is a huge wick, guys. That is a monthly time frame. And not only did we get that massive wick, but right here, we are also getting a really big bullish engulfing candlestick. And now, for you guys that maybe do not know what a bullish engulfing candle is, bullish engulfing just basically means that the green candle, in this case gray, eats the entire red candle by size. So we had the open of this red candle up here, we had the close down here, we had the open of this green candle at the same spot, and then it closed higher than the open on the red candle, which is a clear indication of bullish engulfing. Now, what we've seen follow from that is actually this nice green candle that's actually taken us back above. It's actually right at that resistance of about 9,300, which on the monthly time frame lines up about right here. So we are facing this major resistance on the monthly time scale, which was putting us at about 93. It is possible that we could get that rejection here very soon, but if we do break above this, I think that that's going to create a pretty strong impulse. And kind of what we're seeing here, guys, is Bitcoin's really asserting its dominance. From this capitulation, alts bled off, but this initial bounce, Bitcoin's just been leading the way, and the altcoins have really just kind of lagged behind. That's why we're seeing Bitcoin altcoin pairs bleeding in this time. It's because Bitcoin is just rallying so hard. And so this is a good sign overall. This is the exact reason why I always tell everybody to have exposure into Bitcoin. It's a big mistake if you're not at least having some exposure into Bitcoin, because honestly, guys, Bitcoin leads the value in this market. It is the driver of value. It's the focal point. Bitcoin leads. When Bitcoin tops out, that money leaves Bitcoin and then trickles into the rest of the altcoins. Bitcoin is the top of the hierarchy, which is why it's important to invest in it. Even if it's not going to get you the same massive percent returns, it still is a much safer bet, because you're going to be less volatile in your portfolio. You're going to have consistent gains the entire bull run, and it really does help with that stability. I cannot explain that enough. For me, one of the biggest mistakes I made in the last bull run was the simple fact that I did not seem to hold enough Bitcoin. Bitcoin would rally, I wouldn't hold any, I would just assume the altcoins were going to rally, and they would get suppressed, and they'd get suppressed. Even though altcoins did outperform Bitcoin, it was still a better scenario for me to hold some exposure. And so I always hold at least some exposure. Anywhere from at least 25% is my go-to. Now let's actually go in here and talk about a couple things. Now with Bitcoin today, because we are seeing this massive buyback that's ensued from the crash, this is a prime example of a V bottom. Basically, you have the top of the resistance, we crash, and then the buyback happens so quick that we come all the way back up and retest that previous resistance. And so by me watching this right now, yes, it's possible we could get rejected at the resistance we're at. This looks a little bit more bullish than it does bearish to me, and I think that it's more likely that we're going to make another impulse closer upwards of this resistance, which would actually complete the V bottom. Now, the V bottom itself, even if we reject right here and start falling lower, that V bottom is still in effect, and it doesn't have to come all the way to the top resistance for that to be confirmed. Now, with Bitcoin coming up so high, I think that the next resistance is going to be about 10,500. That's going to be the next major area. And to be honest, guys, if we do get a breach from that area, you guys can expect to see a strong buyback. And you know what I mean by that is the fact that, you know, the resistance is about right here, 10,500. This is a pretty strong resistance. If we don't reject from this, and we break higher, honestly, guys, that's going to set us up for about 12K, which would be up here. And that is the problem with these markets. And I shouldn't say a problem, because it's actually the best blessing in disguise. But the reason why it's a problem for most people is because they're always stuck on the wrong end of the deal. Now, let's actually go through here and explain some things, because for Bitcoin to actually shoot up to 12K, some of you guys might be watching this right now and be thinking, oh no, I didn't buy down here low. Should I FOMO in now? What should I do? And this is honestly why I always tell you guys, not to get shaken out in the dips and why you should be buying in those dips, because stuff like this happens all the time with crypto. I felt sick to my stomach when I was buying at 5K. That is no lie. I still feel the emotions when it comes to trading, because at the end of the day, I'm all in on this market. It's all my money. So when Bitcoin crashed, I lost 50% of my net worth overnight. And that is going to have an emotional impact on you. But the thing about me, guys, is the fact I understood that this was the case. I've been here since 2016. I already knew how volatility could impact me because I've been wrecked, made a bunch of money. It's all one and the same. But at the end of the day, guys, I've been very adamant about telling you that this was going to be a big regret if people panic sold any point throughout here. And that's exactly what happened. We've impulsed well above the actual selling point. Selling point took place right here. We're currently sitting at 16% over that. So this is why, my exact reasons why I tell you guys, invest in the dips. Don't get shaken out by the retraces or the volatility, because this is a long-term prospect for me. And if it is for you guys too, then you should just be listening to really that long-term bias that's within you. Now, let's go through and talk about some things. Let's talk about how I actually averaged into positions and why it's important to actually do so, because I'll share with you guys where my average entry price is for my spot buy orders in Bitcoin. Now, the first place that I ever accumulated was here at $9,100. These prices aren't going to be 100% exact because I don't care for them to be. My first entry was at $9,100. This was the first correction that we saw in this descending triangle. And then I had another entry down here at $8,350. This was the second bids that got filled. Then I had a third entry down here at $7,600 right there. And then I had another one down here at 63. I really didn't think I was going to get filled on any of these ones, and I almost took them off my exchange buys. Thank God I did not. I almost did not get filled on these, and I didn't expect to, because we bottomed right here. We just barely missed those entries, and we bounced. I didn't expect that I was actually going to get filled, but the crash filled me in that. And then it also filled me at 5K. Now, I honestly did. I'm not going to lie. I had buy orders set at 5,300 right here. But I actually closed those because I didn't think that they'd get filled. And then when it actually crashed, I ended up buying at 5K. So it was actually better because I got a cheaper entry. So I'm not complaining with that one. But I'm not going to lie, guys. I was scared buying right here because that's just the way it goes. I was scared. I felt sick to my stomach. I trusted that my analysis was right. I bought the dip. And from that initial entry of 5K, I'm currently up 86%. So that's perfect for me, guys. Now, this is the way that you average into a dip. You pick a level, you set buy orders, and you buy. And you just set these little ladder entries all the way down in the dip. And this is the way that you're not getting stuck investing all at once, because that's just way too risky. If I would have put all of my investment up here at 9,100, I would have been wrecked. And, I'd actually be in profit right now, oddly enough. But this entire dip would have been absolutely terrifying, because I would have been holding fat losses when this crash happened. That's why it is so important to have a plan in place to average into the dips, because there were people that went all in up here somewhere, up in these higher prices. And then when we crashed to 3,800, that was the selling point. They were like, okay, I'm done with this. I've held this loss for too long. I'm not holding it any longer. That was capitulation. And that's why retail money buys the tops, and then smart money buys the bottoms while retail is capitulating. And that's the issue here with so many people in crypto, is the fact that with these volatile markets, they're going to chop you up. And it's very, very important that we have a plan. For me, my plan was just to average into this dip, and I did that. Now, let's actually talk about why it's important to do so. Now, the way that you calculate this is to find the mean of all 5 of these entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all 5 of these entries, the way that you calculate the average is by adding up all of these equivalents. So 9,100 plus 8,350 plus 7,600 plus 6,300 plus 5,000 comes to an average entry price. I already did the math. Comes to an average entry price of 7,250 or 350. I honestly can't remember. It's somewhere right around that range. So let's actually remove all of these, and let's talk about our average entry for this dip. So this was my average entry, 7,250, 7,350, one and the same. It's all right there in the same range. You guys can double check my math, but I know that I'm right on where I got this. So here's the thing, guys. I didn't buy the very bottom. I also didn't buy up here at the top. I bought about the average of this dip. We've had these swings. We've had lower lows than my entry. We've had higher highs than my entry. But overall, I would say that I did a really good job of accumulating in this dip. So 72.50, if we compare that to the bear market, this was that was pretty close to the bottom of that 6K support level. You know, it's about the average of this entire consolidation here. And it seems to me about to be the midpoint of our current price action that we've had. I mean, obviously we've had peaks, we've had lows, but I'd say the average that price hangs out is roughly this black line, or roughly this 6K area. And so for me, guys, this is the exact reason why I choose to ladder down into my entries, because I don't know when the exact top is. I don't know when the exact bottom is. And so anybody that tells you that they do is full of crap. And so the best thing to do is just stick to a plan, you know, set those levels and buy those levels. Even if you don't get filled on some of those, so be it. It's not the end of the world. Even if you're holding on to some short-term losses, it is okay. This is why we do this, is to maintain profitability. I mean, if you would have just stuck with the plan and traded it, you know, this is a really good entry. I am very happy with the entry that I have, because these are my spot bids. All of my long-term bags are basically the equivalent of this black line. And so for me to average this average entry throughout this bear market, when this thing goes to, you know, $100,000, I am sitting in a lot of profit, all because I just stuck to a plan and traded it through. So this is the analysis I had for Bitcoin. I want to talk about a couple things, how to actually ladder into positions, some short-term analysis there. I think that it is possible that, well, I think it's likely that we're most likely going to come up here and hit about 10,000 to 10,500. If we break that level, then I really would not be the least bit surprised to see us upwards of 12K, which would be clear up here. So just something to keep a note of, guys. If you aren't expecting this, just understand that this is the reason why I average into these dips, because I don't know that when the bottom happens, I don't know how high it's going to shoot up on the upside. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. The fact that Bitcoin's already left all of these cheap entries and is just impulsing right now, this thing could literally go to the all-time high before we get a pullback. I don't know. That is why it's important to have a plan, invest when it's a dip, because at the end of the day, all it takes is one large Bitcoin rally to just completely miss out on all of those good entries. So just be aware of that. Now, what I want to talk about next is actually the Bitcoin dominance, because I think this is actually a really, really important point. Now, this red line indicates 65% dominance, basically 66. And this was the level that I was watching. I was watching this as a correction. I figured that we were going to get rejected and fall lower, but Bitcoin showing its dominance is actually bleeding the altcoin Bitcoin pairs, and it's outperforming the alts. Now, this brings me to my other scenario that I've been keeping you guys pretty updated with. Now, because we're back above this level, as long as we're above this level here, I'd say that we're bullish. It is still possible that we could get rejected. This itself could be a short-term ABC correction back up. And, you know, it's possible we could go clear up to, you know, 70 or 68% before we actually get that rejection. But what I've been updating you guys with is above this level of 66% dominance was bullish. And so I'm going to continue to stick to that bias. Right now, the way it's looking, Bitcoin dominance is going to go for a higher high, upwards of 79% dominance, which would take us directly at that descending resistance here. And that would fulfill the previous downtrend that we've already built here. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be watching out for, is this next impulse upwards of 79% dominance. This can happen really quickly. Altcoins would bleed. I think that if this happens, you know, altcoins are going to have one final low on the Bitcoin pairs, but I do believe the dollar pairs are going to continue to uptrend with Bitcoin, because that's the way it works. Bitcoin's going to outperform the altcoins, so you'd make more by just holding Bitcoin. But I think that the altcoin Bitcoin pairs will have one quick capitulation, very similar to kind of what we saw in 2017 with some alts. Now, this is what takes me to the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, because the Ethereum Bitcoin pair is virtually just the Bitcoin dominance inverted. It's just way more volatile. And the reason for that is because of the fact Ethereum Bitcoin is the second biggest crypto. It is the driver of value in the altcoins aside from Bitcoin. And so it's going to follow whatever the Bitcoin dominance is doing, just inverted. So in this case, we've had this long correction. I think that overall, with what we're seeing on the shorter time frames, you know, we did have this short-term impulse that took place. But the thing is, guys, this could very easily just be an ABC correction back up. ABC, and then this could be an A, B, C, and we could go to the lows, and we could even drop all the way back down to here. If this is bearish and we don't really hold support, say like here, if we don't start holding support down in this area at about, I want to see us bottom let's drop it to a shorter time frame here so you guys can actually see what the heck I'm talking about. Really what I'm seeing right now, I want to see his bottom right here. Approximately here in this area. In this rough range, I think that this is where I want to see a bottom. If this is bullish, we need a bottom about here. Otherwise, I'm going to write it off. If we sell through this point here at about 0.0203, at that point, I'm bearish to new lows. And that's what I think will actually start to take place. It really just hinges upon this Bitcoin dominance. Now, if we do go for a new low, my target is and has been right here in this rough range. So if we draw a box over, we'll see that. This is where I am personally going to be watching to accumulate more Ethereum and actually move Bitcoin to Ethereum. That's the thing. I'd be trading my Bitcoin for more Ethereum because in my opinion, at this point we will see the bottom and then that will be kind of the end of this correction. And to be quite honest, this could be the bottom. But like I said, it really just hinges upon Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin dominance starts to show strength, you guys already know what's going to happen to the rest of the altcoins. And they're going to bleed for one more low. And that would really just have one final quick stab. I don't think that it would be a long, slow bleed. I think it's much more likely that we would just kind of have a quick stab at that. And then at that point, you know, we'd probably get bought up really quickly. And then we'd go up into that new cycle high. And so that's what I'm going to be watching out for with Ethereum. The reason I want to talk about Ethereum today is just because of the fact Ethereum is the second biggest cryptocurrency. And so it's more feasible for analysis than any other crypto out there aside from Bitcoin. And so if we look at the Bitcoin dominance and we just invert this scale, we can see that that's pretty much just the Ethereum chart to some degree right here. And it's just more volatile. And so guys, I do believe this correction is over for the most part. If we do get one more low, so be it. I hold enough Bitcoin that I'm not worried about that because at the end of the day, the dollar value is still going to keep going up. And what we're seeing today in Ethereum against the dollar is more market structure that just looks bullish to me. I mean, guys, we've ranged for over 500 days here. If we pull up the date tool, we've ranged for over 500 days at this point, 511 days in which we've ranged sideways. If we haven't broken through support now, I don't see why we're not. If we haven't broken through support now, I don't think that we're going to at any point. And that's kind of what I've been updating you guys with Ethereum. You know, what we're seeing here is just the sideways ranging. But Ethereum is still impulsing up here. And as long as Bitcoin holds and we keep going up inside of Bitcoin, I think it's very likely that we're heading upwards of 250 to 260 in Ethereum, which would basically be right here. Somewhere about right here. And that would be one quick impulse. And from that point, really what I'd be watching for would be the short-term correction that I have been watching for. This is the thing, guys. I can't predict price. I have no idea where price is going to go. I show you guys analysis. I show you guys the big picture market cycle so that you can make your own observations. The thing is, guys, when these things start impulsing, they will leave you behind, which is why you have to have a plan. A lot of people will hate on me in the comments saying that I'm wrong or that I'm wrecked because, you know, everything went for a lower low. But in that lower low, I was accumulating still, and I'm now in a lot of profit off of Bitcoin because I stuck to that plan. So, you know, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about having a plan and sticking to that plan. And really, if we can make one more impulse, I think that we would look something like this, and we would come back down, and we could come back down all the way to 160 before going up again, or we could just come up one more high and then drop down to about here at about 185 approximately. I'd say about right there, 183, and then start going up. And so that's what I'm going to watch out for the two scenarios here inside of ETH on the dollar. Either way, after this impulse, we're going to see a short-term correction. I don't know how long that's going to take. I would imagine that it wouldn't be too long-lived considering how bullish Bitcoin looks. I think that if Bitcoin's going to break up this high and then it'll have a short-term correction and it's going to head straight up to this all-time high mark. Because you guys got to understand that if we look at any of the prior cycles, you know, you can't see it really, but if we could see a big peak, and it looks something like that, right? And then we accumulate. Here's the thing inside of Bitcoin today, guys, is the fact that in the last cycle we had these first two impulses. We had the halving that took place right here, and then we dumped, right? So at the halving, we were basically right here. This is what followed after that halving. The biggest part of that impulse. This is where you would have made the most money. We're at the same point today, guys. Once again, we're at the exact same point. Market structure looks very similar. You know, we're right here close to halving. It takes place about right here, literally 5 days away, approximately. And we're roughly in the same sort of market structure. I mean, we're right below this all-time high mark. And if we look at the previous cycles, I can almost guarantee that we were at basically the same exact point. Let's go take a look here. Let's throw it back here. Yeah, so at the halving, we would have been right here, which if we draw a resistance from the top of that move, takes us to here, which is just right below that all-time high mark. And if we look at the current cycle today, I can almost guarantee we're going to see the exact same similarity between the two cycles. Basically, we got the halving right here. Now, if we take a resistance tool and go from the cycle high of that move, that takes us right below resistance. And so once again, guys, we're in the exact same sort of trend here. We're right below, our peak took us right below the all-time high. Yes, we had a longer correction. It was just a better buying opportunity than I even expected. And now we're just really close to that halving point. I think it's possible we'll impulse and then kind of have a correction after the halving. I think that's why we're probably getting such a strong impulse, but it's hard to say. But guys, this is the exact same, and that's why I'm so bullish on crypto right now. So make sure that you guys are packing your bags. Make sure that you are sticking to your plan. I want to talk about how I ladder into positions so that you guys can understand how I go about accumulating dips on the longer term. This is how I invested into crypto, and this is why I have such a good spot entry. My average entry price is $7,250. I don't care if I didn't buy the exact bottom. I didn't buy up high, and I bought a really low point, and that is all that matters to me. I'm not going to be able to perfectly predict these things, but I do know a plan that works for me, and I am profitable with it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to join the Discord. It's free. However, on my Discord, I do offer some of my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. Shoot me a message, and I'll get back to you with information on how to sign up for that. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for the support. Oh, yeah. Share this video. Remember, at the halving, I'm going to be giving away a course, my video course, 20 educational videos. It's full of really good knowledge and resources that I've compiled. So make sure that you guys share this video out there. I'm also going to be giving away $100 worth of Bitcoin. So comment below your story, how you got into crypto, how it's changed your life, all of those sort of things, and enter for your chance to win. But with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.